Bright red is my signature color.
You'll see a lot of red if you come to Refashioning Beauty, Noritaka Tatehana's new exhibition in Portland. It's his first ever solo exhibition in all of North America. So it's a pretty big deal, with big art pieces, like this one, inspired by Japanese incense culture.
So it's my minimalistic sculpture inspiring from the Japanese traditional scent.
But Tatehana's signature red is inspired by these smaller pieces, the Japanese camellia flower.
My favorite flower is camellia, so really, really beautiful red.
Noritaka Tatehana is from Kamakura, a small Japanese city just south of Tokyo, so very far away from Portland, Oregon. But the artist says our city reminds him of his home.
Portland is really, really so impressive nature and so much culture, craftsmen, so food. So I'm feeling like a crossover from my family hometown.
His brand new retrospective show just opened at the Portland Japanese Garden. It features dozens of pieces of his work, including many brand new, never before seen pieces that were commissioned specifically for this.
In the beginning, I'm making only heelless shoes, but in recent years, I'm making sculpture and then paintings as well. It's whole things of my artwork.
Did you hear that first thing? He said heelless shoes.
So heelless shoes was inspiring from the high class of geisha. It's like looking so avant-garde fashion, tourist platform shoes. It's like wooden sandals.
You actually may have seen them before without even knowing it, because Lady Gaga has been wearing them for years.
So I graduated my university 2010, so I was working with her from 2010 for 2 years. I was making her shoes about 25 pairs. Wow. For 2 years.
That is a lot of shoes that Lady Gaga is wearing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, in America, if Lady Gaga does anything, we think it's amazing. In Japan, is it the same? Is that as big of a deal to you?
So yeah, she's a superstar in Japan as well. So she has 25 pairs, and so this model is the most favorite shoes by Gaga. Made by my hand and made of Swarovski crystal on the surface.
They're so mesmerizing. I'll just try them on later. It's fine. And that's when I get kicked out of the exhibition. Yeah, touching or trying on the art is definitely not allowed. And since Tatehana's work is on display in such an open way, that is an important rule to remember.
We've talked a lot about that because we don't want to have to put everything behind glass, behind plexiglass, so that people they have to look through something to view the works, because the objects are so rich that we want people to have a pure, direct view of the work. But of course, these works scream to be touched. And so there's that constant battle of giving people the ability to see these works without any hindrance, but then also giving distance from the works so that they're not going to be touching them or wanting to hold them.
Or trying them on, obviously. There are 13 pairs of heelless shoes on display in this exhibition, but that's just one series of Tatehana's work. There's also these giant sculptures, big modern recreations of traditional geisha hairpins.
I want to take traditional Japanese culture to more contemporary things, so I mean the update Japanese culture to the near future.
One of the things that Tatehana believes in is working to help promote the traditional crafts of Japan. And so in this piece, he's actually inserted inside an actual Japanese sword blade. Japan has one of the longest and most distinguished histories of sword making with the samurai warriors. And so there are generational sword makers, and although he himself realizes that he can't create work that takes years and generations to build on, so like in this piece here, he actually commissioned a 15th generation sword maker, Kunihiro kawachi from Nara to create a sword blade to then insert inside his sculptural work of art.
The most important things about Japanese culture is handcraft. It's a craftsmanship. For example, Heelless shoes is making by my hand, and some pieces of sculpture, it was working with traditional Japanese craftsmen. So please watch the details of the, for example, surface and the materials. It's really important things from Japanese traditional culture and the historical craftsmanship.
That is the most important thing. So it should have been my final question, but since Tatehana was only in Portland for the opening weekend of the exhibition, and it was such an honor to get the time to speak with him, I had to ask him one more thing. Lady Gaga does live in North America, of course. Is she gonna come? Are you gonna call her and have her come to the Japanese garden for your exhibit?
Yeah.
Yes?
No. It's special.
It's special?
Yeah, it's special. I hope so.
So Gaga, if you're listening, you are definitely invited. We'll be waiting. Refashioning Beauty is open at the Portland Japanese Garden through December 1st.